Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. It's so good to be back here with you and able to come into your lives and visit for a minute. And just glad to do it every Friday. I hope you're enjoying it. I am. And good to talk with you again. So if you have comments, please leave them. Let me also remind you that in the corner of the video down here, there should be a subscribe button. And there's also a donate button here. If you want to throw, a quarter in the hat or whatever in the guitar bag for me, that's always great too. So I thought the first thing I would do is tell you hi, buenos tardes, and halito. That's in, of course, English and then Spanish and then Choctaw language. And I have a long ways to go with my Choctaw because, of course, that was not my primary language. And I did not know what tribe I belonged to up until 2 or 3 years ago. So I have a lot to learn. That is hence why I have this really cool dictionary. It helps me with words and that have to do with the Choctaw language. And so I'm just, me, my whole reason and world about doing these kinds of things is I'm like you. I grew up a little kid and I had things I loved doing and I had ideals and dreams and passions. And then I got older and life got in the way and good and bad things happen. And I started pounding those things down and forgetting them. And, you got to grow up and get past it. And, you can't think like that, can't do that. You got to think about this, you got to do that. Well, I really want to have those things in my life. I enjoyed them then. I enjoy them today. And I want you to find those things that make you happy and enjoy them too. And continue to work for that. Don't let anybody crush your dreams because they will. If you tell somebody that they need to crush your dreams, if you let them know that it's okay to do that, guess what? They will take full advantage of that and they will help you do that. So you might as well go out there and give it your best shot, right? And have some fun doing it. Well, let me tell you a little bit today about my grandpa Forrester. Now, he would be like my great, 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 great grandfather. And he was married to Nancy Forrester, and she was a Chickahominy Indian. And she was later, the story goes that the Chickahominy, there's only about 3,000 of them in the United States known today, because unfortunately, that individual tribe of people was nearly annihilated, as were many of the tribes, but these folks literally were wiped off. And Nancy was one of them and probably ended up on a Cherokee Nation roll if my history is helping me along as I find things out. And she and my grandfather ended up in Georgia. And my other grandfather, his son, was born, and he had my grandmother, Nancy. And Nancy had my grandmother, Aggie. And Aggie had my grandpa, Steve Smalling. And so that's kind of how it all goes. And but what I had wanted to tell you is when I put in the Forrester family in Arkansas, this whole story came up that had the lineage and a lot of the information on it. And just interesting things were in there. Like it talked about my grandfather having very, very, very dark skin, which was one reason that the Native American has been thought of on that side of the family a lot. But because of the way things were, sometimes, unfortunately, it wasn't popular to be Native. It wasn't popular to have that mixed blood. And it was just, they didn't talk about it after a while. And it's very sad. So for some of my family, I'm not able yet to put them, because remember, my mother's adopted. So her father went off and had my lovely aunt with her mother. And my grandmother went off and had my lovely uncle with with her new husband. And so my mom was adopted out. So I'm able to attach to my Choctaw roots through my uncle and my mother, but I have not been able to attach for my aunt the Cherokee Chickahominy roots that I believe she has. And so I'm still working on that. So it's a work in progress. So when I find things, I try to read through all of it because it talked about them in Georgia, and then at some point they end up in Arkansas. And he had a like a meat house. It sounds like a mercantile of meat. He was known for being a great pig caller. And at some point, he was killed by a tree. A limb off of a large tree fell on him and probably crushed him. Anyways, he died from those injuries. And so it's been very, very hard to put all the pieces together, but I continue to try. Hey, thank you for that question. If you guys want to have your DNA done, check out, watch for Ancestry. If you're looking to do that type of DNA, it goes as low as $59 and you can catch it for $59. Some of them are more money. Okay, just check it out, but watch for Ancestry because I think their test is pretty decent and it's evolving with everything over time. And so it's worthwhile. But I know for Father's Day, they had it at 59 and I think it's still 59. So take a look. If not, the highest it is 99, but you ought to catch it when it's 59 and it's a great thing to do. Thanks for that question. Okay, I'm going to, so what I'm trying to tell you is when you find information out, read it. Because in there are bits and pieces. And one of these days, I'm going to find what I'm looking for. Okay. And that's what I want you guys to be able to do. All right. I'm going to do a little example of a song because one of the things I noticed about me is I love languages. And so I'm telling you, I'm always full of the things I love, right? So I'm trying. So this is one of the songs I do in Spanish. It's just going to be a little snippet of it because I want to do the one I wrote here a long time ago, and I'll give you some history on it. But let me just do this for you for a second. Okay, here we go. Oh. Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. I had to think about it a second. Tú eres la tristeza de mis ojos, que lloran en silencio por tu amor. Me miro en el espejo y veo mi rostro, el tiempo que he sufrido por tu adiós. Obligo que te olvide el pensamiento, pues siempre estoy pensando en el ayer. Prefiero estar dormido que despierta, de tanto que me duele que no estés. Como quisiera que tú vivieras, que tus ojitos jamás se hubieran cerrado, no voy a estar mirándolos. Amor eterno, inolvidable, tarde o temprano estaré contigo para seguir amándonos. That song's actually called Amor Eterno, and it's a very beautiful song, and I try really hard to encourage myself to continue to learn different languages. So one of the things I'm so excited about my Choctaw history is having that language with me too. A little difficult. Native language will be a little difficult when you find it because it's not like Spanish. Spanish is spoken around the world. The nations each had their own languages. And so sometimes where I'm not able to be back in Oklahoma and be inundated, it's a really, it's a little more challenging, but they're wonderful. They have a whole thing that comes to you. If you want, I do my class online. It comes to me every day. I get a Choctaw language thing. So listen, I wanted to do the golden rule for you. I have this wonderful mama. She raised me, but my mom always told me, you try and treat people the way they treat you. Now, listen, some people treat you kind of cruddy sometimes. I really don't want to go there and treat people cruddy, right? Because I'm not about that. But I do try to remember the golden rule. So I wrote this song. Hope you enjoy it. Sitting on the front porch, storm rolling across the land, thinking back for years on good family and friends I've had, thinking about the high times and the low times been through. Glad for all the people I've had to hold on to. Mama said the golden rule is a precious gift to hold. Always treat people right and it'll return to you tenfold. My mama said, remember the golden rule. Thank you guys for all your comments. I appreciate it. I've been through happy times, been through sad. Had me some good times and I've had me some bad. Been so high my feet just wouldn't touch the ground. Been so low, took someone to turn me around. Mama said the golden rule is a precious gift to hold. Always treat people right and it'll return to you tenfold. My mama said, remember the golden rule. Storms are moving quicker, the years they're doing the same. Glad to take the time and think of the good friends I have made. If I could pass along one thing that might change your life, remember the golden rule. You'll sleep good every night. Mama said the golden rule is a precious gift to hold. Always treat people right and it'll return to you tenfold. My mama said, remember the golden rule. My mama said, remember the golden rule. Hey, I think it came out okay, right? I did that back in 91, 92, and it was a good song, and it's just stuck with me all these years, too. I love it a lot. I love my mama a lot. She pretty much raised me as a single parent, and I did have a daddy, but he kind of lost his daddy card along the way, and that's okay. That happens to everybody, right, sometimes, and we just have to go on and be the best people we can be. Hey, one more thing. I wanted you guys to know that, you know, I put myself where I tell you to put yourself, and I stuck myself out here, and I have put my first track of music out, and you'll be seeing, I'll try to send it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. My first track is the Don't Walk Away song. And I know that right now it's made it to Tidal. It's made it to Deezer and Spotify. It's going to hit YouTube tracks, Amazon, Music Apple, quite a few other places. So I'm pretty excited about it. And I encourage you guys, if you have things like that in you, go ahead, put it out there. There's a lot of people who hopefully will like your music. You know, we all have different tastes and it's a beautiful thing. So if you see a lot of those, I'm just trying to make sure that you guys know, because not everybody might have Amazon. Not everybody won't, you know, we'll have Google Music or we'll have Pandora or those other things. And so I want to be sure you know it's out there. I really appreciate it if you guys see it. Hit the little heart. It lets them know that you guys are liking on my song, and it helps me. Okay. And I really like that. The other thing I wanted to tell you about was horse. I wanted you to know that I have officially titled horse as Chata Isoba, and that is the word for Choctaw and horse. So I'm calling that horse Chata Isoba, and I'm very excited. I wanted to incorporate it. This will be going back to Oklahoma to be in an art show for the Choctaw Nation, and I do it each year, and I'm always happy to try and participate. Like I said, I'm not there, so I have to do what I can to learn about my culture and to try to incorporate bits of my culture into my life, and I'm very excited to be able to do so. Hey, I am so grateful that you guys chimed in today. Again, please subscribe. I think you have to hit that little bell too that's on YouTube, or they won't tell you when things are going on. So I don't know. I don't quite understand all that electronic stuff, but I'm working on it. All right. I'm so glad you guys tuned in. Remember, happy is a choice. You guys are awesome. we have the same britches on to be happy in that we do have to get up every day and be ugly to people in. And I prefer to be happy. It's just too much ugly in the world as it is, and I don't want to be part of it. I want to check out if I got to do that, right? Please, please, please remember, watch your children. It's hot out there. There are people out there who are not thinking straight, who do terrible and horrible things. Make sure you're being safe, that your family's safe, that you tell people where you're going. Leave them a note. If you have GPS them if you have to. I love my mama. She's out and about. She's going dancing tonight. I try to make sure she's got GPS on her phone, not because I don't trust my mama, but I want to be able to find her if I can, right? I mean, things happen, and I want to make sure she's okay. Remember, your blood calls you, you go find it. Okay. It talks to us all the time. We just need to listen. I am Native by Heart Art by Shawn Shelton. You guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and listen for my tracks if you can. And I'm just so excited, and I hope you guys are excited and go out there and do something great today. Okay. Thanks again. God bless.